I'm Jen Palmer, and this speech is for Labette Community College public speaking class. Hello, welcome to my kitchen. So I wanted to start out with a song, and we'll see if y'all recognize this song. Take me out to the ball game, take me out to the crowd, buy me some peanuts or, this is your part.
Popcorn?
Cracker Jacks! I don't care if I ever come back. Well, that is a song about Cracker Jacks, and which Cracker Jacks, for some of you that obviously don't know from the song, is caramel popcorn. So we're gonna make some caramel popcorn today. And so what I've done is I've gotten the ingredients together already and actually already popped the popcorn due to the time limit that we're under. But I did go ahead and what I had here was just regular popcorn, and I like to use my air fryer. It makes it, or air popper rather, not air fryer. That would probably turn out with differently than what we have here today. But make some popcorn, and what we've got here is, this is 4 quarts of air popped. I haven't done anything else with it. I haven't added any butter or any salt. So what I do is I go ahead and I take that, I put it in a brown paper bag. So just a little fun fact, you can get these without having to pay any money, which I like. If you go and shop at G&W, they will, you just ask for your groceries to be in a bag, a brown bag versus the white sack, and you can get them for free. You also can get them if you go to Brahms and get ice cream, so there you go. So I just put my 4 quarts of popcorn into my brown bag in the sack here, and we will utilize that here in a second. So just put that in there. You do want to be careful when you are doing your popcorn. It can get hot. So if you have young kids around, you might want to help them with that part, or if you're like me, you know, maybe use a pot holder or just go after it, you know. But they could get hot, so that is a safety concern for you. So I do air fry that, or air pop that, excuse me, I keep saying air fry. That would not be good. All right, so what we're gonna do next is I'm gonna go ahead and get the ingredients together and pop it into the microwave, because it does take a few minutes, and then I'm gonna share some fun facts about caramel popcorn. So what you want to do is you want to have a half a cup of butter, which I've already taken out here. So you can take it right out of the fridge. It doesn't need to be softened. You're good to go just with it in there like that. It needs to be a microwave safe bowl, or for me, I use my Pyrex bowls. And so you want to have a half a cup of margarine or butter, which I use butter, and just it's a 1 stick. And then you're going to add 1/4 cup of corn syrup. You can use whichever brand. I wanted to use the rest of this one up first, but have this as my backup. But you're going to go ahead and just pour it all into there. Let that drip in there. And then you're also going to add a cup of brown sugar. So you press it down pretty nice in your little measuring cup there, and it'll pop right out for you. A little quicker than your syrup that you have to wait for it to drain out. And so that's the brown sugar that you're going to use. You're also going to use some vanilla. I use my big bottle from Sam's, but because I like to bake a lot. So we're going to use that, and you're going to use 1 teaspoon of that. I already have it measured out, so 1 teaspoon is what you're going to pour into your concoction there. And then you're going to use a 1/2 teaspoon of salt. And I did not measure that out ahead of time, but just a 1/2 teaspoon of salt is what you're going to use. And you know, some people are superstitious and like to put some on their shoulder. I am not. But anyway, so all right, so then that uses up all the ingredients I had except for the baking soda, but we're going to use that here in just a little bit. So what we're going to do is just like that, and we're going to put it into the microwave for 3 minutes. So I have the screenshot here. All right, and so as we're doing that, now that is cooking, I wanted to give you a little bit of interesting facts about caramel corn. So how caramel corn came about in existence is it was an experiment. Like you might go into a scientist, you know, laboratory. No, it was a kitchen. But how many of you like certain scents or certain tastes? And so you'll just try some things, put them together, and you'll see what you come up with. Well, that's what a couple brothers did. So these brothers' names were Frederick and Lewis, and their last name is Ruckenheim. and they were from Germany, and they actually immigrated to the United States of America, and they lived in Chicago, Illinois, and had a popcorn shop. And so as they are experimenting, they came up with caramel corn. And so earlier in my introduction, I was singing that very lousy song of Cracker Jacks when I mentioned Cracker Jacks, and actually how that came about. Some fun facts that I got from factretriever.com. It said that, that a gentleman was eating it and he said, "Wow, that's a Cracker Jack." And in that terminology back then, that meant that was a really good find. That was a good thing. So that's where the name Cracker Jacks came into existence. And so they went ahead and copyrighted that and started Cracker Jacks, and which is what we know as caramel popcorn. So another fun fact that I found from Thad Paul, he mentions that the National Caramel Popcorn Day is actually coming up. It's April the 6th. So April the 6th, have you some caramel popcorn to celebrate that day. Also, some other fun facts just about popcorn in general that we have to use as our main ingredient. There's about 1,600 popcorn kernels in 1 cup. I don't know if you knew that, but I found that was interesting. Also, approximately 70% of popcorn sold in America is eaten in the home. 70% of popcorn is eaten in the home. I can attest to that. I eat a lot of popcorn. The other 30% can be eaten in theaters or stadiums, ball games, something like that. Also, popcorn kernels can pop up to 3 feet in the air. I thought that was pretty interesting as well. As I was popping my popcorn in my air popper earlier today, popcorn actually did go everywhere. So I can attest it went about 3 feet. Also, autumn is the peak time for popcorn consumption, followed by winter months. So when you're inside, fall, and then winter months, people typically like to eat popcorn. And the popcorn sales will then taper off in the spring and summertime. So interesting. Americans eat more popcorn than any other country. I thought that was an interesting fact. Most popcorn is eaten around the world is grown here in the United States. And my popcorn, or my syrup is there. It's got 4 seconds left on the microwave. So we timed this pretty good here with my fun facts. So now when you're getting that out of the microwave, you do want to be careful. This is going to be hot. And so you want to use with care. You might want to have you a little hot pad out to put it on so you don't burn yourself or your countertop. And then you're just going to want to just stir it up a little bit. It's going to be a little bit thick on the brown sugar on the bottom, but just going to mix it up a little bit. And then what we're going to do is we're going to put it back in for another minute and a half. So once we get it back in there, 1 minute, 30 seconds back in there. I also like to clean as I go, but that you do not have to do that. I typically don't like messes in my kitchen. I usually have to have my kitchen completely clean before I will start a cooking project. That's just one of my old pet peeves. And then also something I didn't mention at the beginning because I think it's kind of common sense, you want to wash your hands. Just saying. I have a dog and I like to pet him, and sometimes I'll just go in there and to start an activity, and first thing I need to do is I don't want dog fingers, dog on my fingers. So that is something that you will want to do. So what I'm going to do is talk to you about the next steps I'm going to be doing as this is cooking. So once I get this out here, then I'm going to add the baking soda. So it's kind of fun once you add the baking soda, it kind of foams up, so it's kind of cool. So we're going to stir that into that, make sure, and then that's when we're going to start adding it to our paper bag. So once we get into our paper bag, we're going to shake it up really good. Now, if you're having small kids help you, they typically like to be a part of the activity. I know when I have my nieces and nephews here, I will let them do certain steps on there, but once it gets to the stuff that gets hot and I don't want them to get burnt, I will usually step in and say, hey, let's do this together, or let me show you how to do that. So we got about 15 seconds left on the microwave. We're gonna put that in here in our brown paper bag. We're gonna shake her up good, and then we're actually gonna put it back in the microwave, so that'll be kind of fun. Okay, so as you can see here, my concoction's already bubbling up good. And this is probably one of my favorite steps right here is adding the baking soda. And you do want to add a half a teaspoon of baking soda. Just sprinkle it in here. And then we'll watch some magic here in just a second. So if you say it foams up. It's not doing exactly what foaming up, it's more like caramelizing, whatever. There it goes, starting to do its little thing. I just think it's really fun to look at the way the texture of it kind of changes a little bit. So we're gonna mix that in good, and then we're gonna pour it into our brown paper bag here. Be careful, it is hot. Get that all poured in there. Scrape the edges the best you can. And you can shake it up. I like to stir it up too a little bit, just to kind of get it going. But here again, you have to be kind of careful if you have little kids around. Just kind of mixing that caramel in there with the popcorn. And then I'm going to shake it a little bit here, kind of turn it down a little bit. And then just kind of shake it up a little bit. And now I'm going to put it back in the microwave. And I do it upright. And so what I do is I'm putting it back in there, setting it upright, shaking it up. Now, depending on what your microwave is like, if it's gets a little too hot, you might just want to kind of sniff to make sure you're not burning it. Take it out, shake it up again. My microwave, I pretty much timed it about a minute and 10 seconds. Does good for it. So once I get it out, I'm going to shake it really good. I'm going to flip it over, and then I'm actually going to put it back in the microwave again for another 10 seconds, just kind of depending on where you're at with your microwave. And like I said, I kind of like to tidy up and clean while I'm doing all these things. And sometimes I'll do a double batch. I don't do double content as far as the ingredients at the same time. I'll usually do a batch, wait, and do a whole new batch again. I have found that when I do that, sometimes I'll burn the first batch. And then the second batch is not so good. But I have family members that like it burnt. But I leave it for them to eat first. So it's a win-win. But anyway, so now it's out. So I'm going to just shake it up really good. This way, that way, and this is hot. So if you're sensitive to that, you might want to use hot pads, but my hands are used to it, I think. So just shake it up again. Make sure, I don't really smell anything burnt. Let's hope there's not. Then now we're going to put it back in for another minute 10 seconds. Yeah. So, and there we go. And then what I've done here is I've laid out some wax paper, and that helps it just not stick to the countertop too much, because as soon as I get this out here, I'm going to pour it onto the brown paper to help it set up a little bit, and then once it gets hard, and then we can break it apart. And then what I've done here today is I've gotten these little bags so that treats can be taken home with everybody that chooses to have some. And I've also have recipes so that you too can make some at home if you so choose to do that as well. This is a fun treat. This is a treat that we typically like to do on occasions, like if we're having a party at church, or if we're having a party here at our house, or a Sunday afternoon when you want to watch a movie. It's just fun to kind of get them out and make some of these. So, all right, I'm going to get this out here. We'll see what the finished product is. Hopefully we're successful. Like I said, I have burned some before in the past, and that hasn't always been so good. Sometimes you might want help. That's good to do as well, just if you want somebody to help you kind of scrape it out. But there again, it's going to be very hot, so be very careful as you're getting it out. You can tear the bag because you're not going to reuse it, so it's okay to tear it. Oh, doesn't that look pretty? It smells good. Oh boy, howdy. Sorry for those. Oh, there's a few burnt pieces, so for those that like a little bit of the burnt side, we're going to be right in luck here, it looks like. But we're just going to pour that out. Be careful, you're sitting kind of at a scary spot there, I think. I'm going to try not to burn you here. But we're going to get all that popcorn down there. Like I said, be very careful, especially if you're with kids. They'll just want to go up there and put their hands on that popcorn. And as you know, that's not a good thing because they will get burned. Like I said, usually I'm grabbing my helper to help me do this, but she's recording today, so shout out to her for helping me. But that's good enough. We'll put it there. And so what I'll do then after that is I just kind of spread it out a little bit here on the wax paper to just kind of let it harden up a little bit. And then once you're done with that, you break it apart, put it in your little bags, and enjoy. So I hope you enjoyed this demonstration. Go home and make some today.